Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I am so grateful that you have joined me today, and I'm also grateful that my guest is in the building. Y'all, I got Winfield Ezell in the Black Media Matters studios with me, and we're going to be diving into all of the ways that he's been partnering with Converge, and now he is the Chief Storyteller here. So we're going to be talking about what he thinks about that role, what his vision is, and also some of the ways that he's already been contributing. So I'm glad that he's here. But you know, I'm glad you're here too, because you get to share this show with folks who you feel could benefit from this daily dose of dopeness we work to give you here on The Day with Trae. And if you can't watch our TV show, we always got you covered, because you can always listen to us as well. Anywhere you find your favorite podcast, just search Converge Media Network in A Day with Trae, you'll find me there. Now, before I get into it with Win, you know, I get to get into it with y'all. These parts of the show, the top of the show, is where I get to share thoughts with you all, because as much as this show is about my guests, I was gently reminded last season that people are also tapping in to hear a bit about what's going on in my dome. So I am grateful that I have the opportunity to share with you all as I think and reflect on either what happened for me this weekend or some things that have been taking shape for me. So because I have a chief storyteller here, I get to talk about some of the ways that I really began to fall in love with storytelling. And it starts with me doing all of the classes around acting and then bringing that to actual stages and screens. You know, characterization became so amazing for me. The ways that subtlety shows up on screen and the ways that you have to transition this subtlety when you're doing live theater was something I just truly fell in love with as a young person. And I'm so grateful that my parents actually poured into me and said, okay, you want to take these acting classes? You want to learn about being on camera and being in media? I heard a commercial on the radio, y'all, and it was a wrap. I'm like, you know what? I got $100 saved up. I'm going to put all my money towards it. Now, of course, it was a fraction of the cost, but my parents really said, this is something that has got her eyes lit up, and we want to see this through for her. And so they, of course, supported me so that I could learn. And it was there that I began to understand just the ways to do expressions and emote on camera. As a young person, I'm telling you now, I'm here in this seat because I fell in love with it back then. And that love grew for me over the course of time, especially at Garfield High School, where I got to really dive into theater work. And, you know, before that, it was a lot of, you know, different auditions and commercials and small films and things of that nature. So I got used to the world of acting on screen. But to transition that to acting on the stage, my very first play, y'all, I went out for Carmel in the Miss Firecracker contest, okay? Now, this role is traditionally played by a white Southern belle, and people were like, are you gonna, you know, I was just like, I'm just auditioning. I just want them to, you know, I just want to give it a shot. And I was the only Black girl to audition. And in order to play this role, you had to dye your hair bright red. Now, my family was not having it, okay? And I tell you, I was like, hey, that's gonna take me out of the running. So when they asked who was willing to dye their hair red as we did our, you know, final casting call, my hand did not go up. I'm like, it ain't happening, y'all. There ain't no way my parents are going for that. And yet, I was the one to get the role. I didn't know what was going on because I'm like, I said no. So what? They're like, no, we have a temporary solution. It's going to be great. You know, you did phenomenal. But that was really the start for me of understanding what storytelling is really about and how characters are a part of that, but also how so many other things come to life to bring the story together. And now that I have done the work that I've done on camera, in theater, and a true fan of live performance, I see this storytelling, these nodes and these pillars of storytelling in the ballet, in the opera, in, of course, theater, and even in live performances, like what I was telling you about Stomp this past weekend with my son. You know, they had comedy in there. They were making it fun and building story as you got used to the different members of the troupe and what they would bring. You know, they were all in unison and doing things, but then they had moments of spotlight. But storytelling is something that I am truly so grateful for, because it takes so much creativity, y'all. And so I'm grateful that Winfield is here today to give us his vision around storytelling here at Converge and how he's been honing in on his craft over the years. Of course, I get to dive into it with him, because up next, Winfield Ezell is coming to join me, and we'll be talking all about it. Y'all definitely don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
My hair is definitely unique in the rodeo industry, and not a lot of girls wear their natural hairstyle. And since I do, it makes it a lot harder to find equipment that fits my head the right way. When I speak about being unique, that's what I mean is, why should we have to change our hairstyle for safety maybe? Why can't they create something for us to be ourselves in and still be safe on the trails? You don't have to change the way you look, because you're beautiful the way you are.
Listen up, Puget Sound.
This is a call to my fellow Black business owners.
It's your girl, Besa Gordon.
It's your boy, Eric Calligraphy, and I know times are tough out here.
Especially for our restaurants, dude. I already know you're feeling the weight.
But let me be clear, we're not going to stand by and watch our community struggle.
Here at Back to Besa and Converge Media, we know Black businesses are the heartbeat of our community.
We bring the culture, the flavor, and the soul, and we need you to keep on thriving.
We need you. So that's why we're opening our platforms to you. Whether it's telling your story, shining a light on your challenges, grabbing resources for you to know about. Dude, we even want to help bring more customers through your doors.
Man, we got you. Are you a restaurant owner trying to keep your lights on? A new business fighting to make your mark? Whatever your story, we want to hear it and help.
In order to make that happen, we need for you to head on over to whereweconverge.com/support Black business and let us know what's happening. Let Back to Besa and Converge Media amplify your voice and help drive traffic to your business.
Man, don't wait. Converge Media is here to uplift Black business in the Puget Sound. So man, make sure you visit whereweconverge.com/support Black business, and let's rise together.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Winfield. What's up, Win?
Hello, hello. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good, man. Always good to be in Seattle, the Emerald City, the Northwest, and right now, believe it or not, much warmer here than it is down south.
You know what? It's crazy what's going on in the country right now, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, before we kind of get into this new role you have, you've been contributing and bringing your brilliance and your creative eye to a lot of different works here. And some may not know, I mean, you have been a part of some major productions. Tell us a bit about how you kind of got connected with Converge and how you started to really bring your talent to the team.
Yeah. Well, the real beginning of that story is many moons ago. As I say, this gray is real, but Omari and I had talked for, probably a decade ago at least, and said, man, we need to do something. And Omari was like, hey fam, let me know. And it's just, time goes, running parallel, building things, and then, probably 3.5 years ago. We were at a mixer that I think Besa was putting on. It was the first time I saw Besa. And Omari was like, hey man, we're gonna be down in your neck of the woods. And they were coming down to Mississippi. And I said, hey, you come our way, you let me know what you need. And he called, and my son Trae and I went down, and the rest is history. That was the beginning of the whole thing. You know, we walk away now with an Emmy nomination for a reconciliation tour, and it was just an awesome piece of filmmaking and storytelling, and powerful piece of storytelling. So it started with, you know, Omari and I talking years ago to following up, and then actually following up. And once we did that, man, I mean, I've worked on, you know, many projects all the way up to currently directing the Facing the Rain, which was the story about Jessa Thomas, who was the first Black rodeo queen here. She just finished her 2024 reign as Miss Teen Rodeo Washington. Yeah. And what a great story, what a special young lady. And then in between, man, I've had the opportunity to work in the community on so many stories through the years. And, you know, being a Southern transplant, you know, a lot of transplants here, but I like to say, man, I always seem to find the folks in the community that's from here, that know the space, know the spots, so that I feel at home, you know. And that's kind of how I move everywhere I go. So from going down south to, you know, actually, went down with your son when we went down and took the HBCU tour, took the commitment. They took the commitment plane down, picked them up at the airport. It was a beautiful story seeing those 40 young, you know, Black faces, boys and girls going down there to get their college on. You know, they were all college juniors. So being a part of just special stories of the community. I mean, the community storytelling that's done here at Converge. I mean, I can tell you, I work all over, and it is unparalleled. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people out there, filmmakers out there doing great things, telling great things, but I feel like the value and the impact that Converge has cemented here, you know, in the Northwest, not just in Seattle, Tacoma, but I'm talking Boise, I'm talking Spokane, I'm talking Portland, you know, and points in between. Yeah. So, you know, it's been special.
Well, you also are one of the directors for Back to Basics, so you get to continuously uplift amazing things going on in the Pacific Northwest region. And you know, I love hearing you talk about, like, you know, why this storytelling piece and how it is so uniquely defined here at Converge, but why it's so important, you know. Yeah. When we think about the ways that people respond to story, I'm always saying that people connect with people. And one of the things I love about, you know, the method that we see in Converge Media Productions is it really is showcasing, like, people behind the works. And I love doing that here on The Day with Trae, and I love that we do that as a thorough line to so much of what we do. Tell us a bit about why you see that being important in terms of really sharing and showcasing the people.
Well, you know, I use the term I always call fueled by the people, man, because, and, you know, people are where stories come from, right? And it's a 360 because people are also who engage and experience with the stories. But I think that the part about storytelling and the part about doing it from the community perspective, as we do here at Converge, is that the storytelling becomes so many more things than, say, just entertainment, than, say, just information. They become things that heal. They become things that connect. Stories are a powerful moment. Stories can sometimes lighten up a tense and heavy situation and bridge the gap between understanding and misunderstanding. You know, storytelling gives us a way to preserve history, to resurrect history, to impact, you know, at every level. So it's a tool, it's a healer, you know, it's an agitator, an aggravator, you know what I mean? And so therefore, I just feel like it's a powerful piece that we can have, and truly that we have always had. So it's also, you know, tapping into our legacy as the carriers of stories. You know, I'm from the South, and, that's kind of how, we did things. It's, the stories of my family. I heard from my grandma. I heard from my uncle. I heard, and I heard the stories over and over. So now I'm telling the stories because I'm kind of taking my place in the older generation, becoming elder, and I appreciate it. And there's a certain responsibility and accountability that comes with storytelling because, for however many minutes, however many moments that you have people in your hands, so to speak, you have somebody's story that you're responsible for, and you have the people that you're responsible to who can have this trust.
Yeah.
And I think that is it's powerful, it's valuable, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad that you're here too. And, you mentioned being able to work with your son, Trae.
Yeah.
Come on, Trae and Trae.
Hey.
Yeah, I love the name. But tell us a bit about how it is to be able to share, your love for storytelling with your son, who you work with for a lot of different productions. You get to see his brilliance shine through. And I'm sure, the work that you've done has a lot to do with that. Tell us about that connection.
Well, I mean, there's truly nothing that compare to being able to work with somebody that you have not only a close relationship with, but a rhythm with. And, what more, way to have a rhythm than to, be with not only family, but somebody that you've been responsible for. And now, you get to see them flourish and things like that. And what I can say is that, the young brother, he amazes me. He's way smarter than I am. And even when he sees this, I will deny it. But it's something that's special. It's something that my dad wanted to do with me. He was in real estate. And he always talked about a company where, fathers and sons work together, a family business, and that's something that I try to do. My youngest son, Malik, who hasn't had the chance to meet the Converge family yet, but he's in Florida and he's, handling client accounts and writing copy and managing projects. And so, I think that, I come from what could be considered a family business. My family was farmers down south, so my mom and them didn't go back to school till the crops was all in, and so working together as a family is something that was in me, and I'm just glad that I figured out a way to make that happen. Because I know we all want it to happen. And that, everybody asks me, well, do your kids want to do what you want to do? And I say, I don't know, because I brainwashed them when they was kids. So, but no, they are blessed because I'm blessed, and I'm blessed because they're blessed. Wow. So it's actually, man, a true honor, and I don't take it lightly. I respect it.
Yeah, and I can tell too, just by the way that y'all interact in a production, there is such a level of respect there and love that is palpable. And so I love being able to kind of share that with the audience a little bit. Now,
appreciate that.
Lastly, when you're going to think about the vision of Chief Storyteller, folks are like, what is that? What does that mean? What does that look like? Tell us a bit about how, this role is allowing you to kind of continue in your love of storytelling here for Converge.
Well, the thing about it is, a lot of times we think of stories, especially when we think of the kind of stories that we do, right? I mean, there's, we fit in a couple of different places, right? I mean, there's a news cycle where Converge is on the streets, giving the information that's pertinent to the community. I mean, on a daily basis, multiple times a day at times, right? Then there's the storytelling where we put something together that's a documentary, a longer form, where we're digging into either an issue. That means something the community either needs to know about, something that the community is intrinsically connected to, or something that people are engaged with that's either evolving, moving forward, going away sometimes. And so when I look at that aspect of the storytelling and the role in particular here as Chief Storyteller for Converge, I look at it as how do we cultivate a relationship with the community, right? Who is not only feeding us these stories and living these stories, but also who are intaking these stories and engaging. So when we think about that, that means we have a responsibility from concept to all the way to that collective moment when we are viewing it, seeing it, sharing it, liking it, because now too, storytelling is interactive. You know, I mean, I came up at a time where it was kind of a, you know, it was a two-way street, but you know, nobody ever asked me, you know, did I want to see X show or X thing, and I didn't get the feedback. You know, we didn't have the old Nielsen box or whatever the way they used to track us in our house, right, in our neighborhood. But now we can get immediate feedback. You know, if you think about the Support Black Business campaign that's going on right now, this is moving the needle. You know what I'm saying? Just a week ago, we were in a business down in Rainier Beach. And man, when I say, you know, Basin was in there, but we did a little, you know, talk to the owners, did some things, and Basin put that story out there. Just that little story, you know, I mean, we do stories of many lengths, but that little story, when I say has moved the needle, in 1 week I was there today, right? People, the whole time. The whole time.
This is the power of, you know, stories coming from community, showcasing community, uplifting and amplifying the brilliance of community. That for me is such a driving force. So Win, I'm so glad you're here. And of course, the folks will be able to see you continue as our chief storyteller to make sure that we stay committed to our dedication to uplifting these stories in our community. You know, if folks are trying to tap in with you, I know you got your socials. Now that we got this, you know, primary two-way street, I want to make sure they know how to tap in with you. Go ahead and let them know right there. Man,
so always, you know, you can get me, if you want to get me directly here, Winfield, WINFIELD, at whereweconverge.com. And also at Win Ezell, right? WINEZELL. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now, officially for everybody, because since I came to the state of Washington, every time I said the name Ezell, no relation, okay? No relation, that's all I'm gonna say. But that's at Win Ezell, and that's at Instagram. And that's you know, that's where I move right there, you know.
Win, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you, my friend.
Come on, gotta have it, gotta have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all, it's so great to hear some of this backstory. For those of you who have been experiencing his work, you know a little bit more about him. I'll be wrapping it all up right after this short break. Stay tuned, you're watching The Day with Trae.
Africatown Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africatown Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africatown Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Empowering the community one connection at a time. ConnectWA is your partner in finding the support you need. Download the app today and experience the difference that a connected community can make. Learn more at eec-wa.org/connectwa-app.
Seattle Opera presents one of the world's most popular operas, Mozart's The Magic Flute. Called an international sensation by LA Daily News and dazzling by San Francisco Classical Voice, this new to Seattle production featuring eye-popping animations is perfect for the whole family. Don't miss Mozart's The Magic Flute, February 22nd through March 9th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Truth Talks is the hottest streaming show on TV. Catch all the truths about pop culture to politics and today's biggest stars.
Why tiptoe through life?
Monday through Friday, live at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and again at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on Fox Soul.
Ready to be intentional with your spending? Whether you're gifting it or using it for yourself, the Buy Black card allows you to shop at many different Black-owned businesses across the greater Seattle area, like Love a Latte, Stramer Ice Cream, Maltese Beauty Supply, Pizza by Ruffin, The Spa House by Queen Care, and so many more. You can see the full list of participating businesses when you sign up for your Buy Black card at intentionalist.com. And thanks to our friends at BECU, you'll save 20% when you load your card. Spend like it matters with the Buy Black card.
Welcome back, y'all, to the Day with Trae. I just got to give a huge shout out to Winfield Ezell. We call him Win over here in the Converge Media family, for joining officially as the Chief Storyteller. Now, while he's been contributing, directing, helping to produce amazing productions here, now we all get to really, truly expand on his vision as we continue to be dedicated to tell the stories of our community. And y'all know, I'm always here for these stories. So if you know of someone who has a phenomenal story to tell, or you have a phenomenal story to tell, do not hesitate to reach out to the Day with Trae at whereweconverge.com and make sure we have an opportunity to uplift and amplify you. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I'll get to wrap up the week with you tomorrow. Until then, at 11 a.m. Peace.
Good. Woo!
Good stuff, Win. You got enough pictures, yeah?
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.